Sleep all day, party all night, never grow old, never die. In 1987, this wasn't just a tagline, it was a warning. The Lost Boys sank its fangs into pop culture and turned the sunny boardwalk into a hunting ground, making eternal youth look like a curse wrapped in leather. But behind the fog, the fangs, and the half-naked saxophone solos, the making of this vampire classic was a battle. The script started as a kids' movie, the special effects were agonizing for the cast, and a bond between two young stars would define and haunt them for the rest of their lives. Today, we're flying into the fog of Santa Carla to uncover the secrets of a film that changed vampire movies forever. If you love discovering the hidden stories behind your favorite 80s classics, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a single drop of trivia. Now grab your garlic and holy water, because here are 10 things you didn't know about the Lost Boys. Number 10. From Goonies to Vamps. It didn't start with motorcycles, blood, or seduction. The original script for The Lost Boys was essentially a vampire version of the Goonies. The main characters were 11 or 12 years old, and the story was more about flashlights and treehouses than fangs and temptation. Richard Donner, who directed The Goonies, was even attached to direct. But when he stepped away, director Joel Schumacher came in and saw a different potential. He famously declared he would do it, but only if he could make it sexy, scary, and adult. Schumacher aged up the characters, injected danger and a slick gothic edge, and transformed a kid's adventure into the dark, seductive masterpiece we know today. Number 9. The Invisible Flight of the Vampires. One of the film's most chilling effects is seeing the vampires soar through the night sky. But here's the secret. You never actually see them fly. There are no wings, no wire rigs, just the camera gliding forward from the vampire's point of view. This wasn't a stylistic choice. It was a solution to a budget problem. The production couldn't afford elaborate flying effects for the entire film, so they saved the big wire work for the finale. For the rest of the movie, the camera itself became the predator. What began as a cost-cutting measure turned into one of the film's most iconic and terrifying signatures, proving that what you don't see is often scarier than what you do. Number 8. The Reluctant Actor. Jason Patric, who played Michael, initially turned down the role. He wanted serious, dramatic parts and wasn't interested in a teen horror movie with vampire hair gel and fog machines. Director Joel Schumacher had to convince him that the film wasn't just about monsters, but about deeper themes of transformation, temptation, and family. Patrick eventually agreed, but he remained uncertain about the film even during production. It wasn't until he saw it with a live audience, hearing their screams and cheers, that he finally understood the movie's power and embraced the cult hit he had almost walked away from. Number 7. The Injury of Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland's performance as the effortlessly cool and menacing vampire leader David is iconic. But behind that controlled exterior, the actor was hiding a serious injury. Shortly before filming began, Sutherland broke his arm in a motorcycle accident. Fearing he would lose the part, he showed up to set with his arm in a cast and simply hid it. The crew had to get creative, using long sleeves, careful camera angles, and blocking that allowed him to move without revealing the injury. The entire time he was playing the most intimidating vampire on screen, he was one wrong move away from serious pain. Number 6. The City That Didn't Exist. The movie was filmed on location in Santa Cruz, California, a city still recovering its image after a series of high-profile serial killings just a decade earlier. When the studio told city officials they wanted to film a movie there featuring murder and vampires and call it Santa Cruz, the answer was a firm no. To get around this, the filmmakers renamed the town Santa Carla, and even built the now famous murder capital of the world sign as a prop. The fictional name stuck, And for horror fans, Santa Carla has become just as real and far more infamous than its real-life counterpart. Number 5. Grandpa's iconic last line. It's one of the greatest final lines in horror history. After the climactic battle with the house in ruins, Grandpa calmly walks to the fridge, opens it, and mutters, "One thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach, all the damn vampires." It's the perfect deadpan ending, but the studio hated it. They argued it undercut the tension and wasn't a big enough finale. Joel Schumacher fought hard to keep it, insisting it was the perfect exhale after the chaos. He won, and the line became legendary, proving that sometimes the quietest moments have the biggest bite. Number 4. The agony of the vampire eyes. The vampire's glowing, hypnotic eyes look incredible on screen, but they were torture for the actors to wear. This was the 1980s, and the special effects contact lenses were not the soft, breathable kind used today. They were made of thick, rigid, hand-painted glass that dried out the actor's eyes almost instantly. Kiefer Sutherland recalled that filming his close-ups had to be done in short bursts before the pain became unbearable. That intense, predatory stare you see on screen wasn't just great acting. It was the result of real, physical agony. Number 3. The Saxman legend. He's on screen for mere seconds, shirtless, oiled up, and wailing on a saxophone, but no one who sees The Lost Boys forgets him. The legendary Saxman is Tim Capello, who at the time was the touring saxophonist for Tina Turner. That incredibly extra performance wasn't an act. That's genuinely how he performed, bodybuilder physique, chains and all. He became an instant cult icon, a symbol of the film's wild, unapologetic 80s energy. Decades later, fans still show up at his concerts dressed in his honor, proving he didn't need to be a vampire to achieve cinematic immortality. Number 2. The Two Coreys. On the set of The Lost Boys, a friendship was forged that would define two young lives. Corey Haim and Corey Feldman met as nervous teenagers and quickly bonded over the shared pressure of filming a major Hollywood movie. They became inseparable, and the industry capitalized on their chemistry, branding them as the Two Coreys. But the fame that followed came too fast and too intense. The pressure led to a tragic spiral of addiction and a fractured friendship. The movie that gave them their start also cast a shadow they could never fully outrun. Number 1. The soundtrack that outlived the movie. While the film was a box office success, its soundtrack became a cultural phenomenon in its own right. The hypnotic mix of rock, goth, and synth, anchored by the haunting theme song Cry Little Sister, captured the film's dark, moody atmosphere perfectly. The album outsold the movie, selling millions of copies and finding a life far beyond the film. While the movie grew into a cult classic over time, the music was an instant hit. Even today, it remains one of the most beloved and influential soundtracks of the 1980s, an echo of Santa Carla that has never faded. The Lost Boys wasn't just a movie. It was a cultural moment that redefined vampires for a new generation. It was dangerous, cool, and unapologetically stylish. What is your favorite scene or line from the film? Let us know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this trip into the fog, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite films. Until next time, don't let the vampires bite.